Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of College and Career Pathways, where every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we provide you with information on various colleges and universities, financial aid resources, skilled trade professions, training and technical schools and opportunities, employment opportunities, all designed to help you make the best career decisions possible. I'm Toni Cureton, your host, and today we are with my favorite, Kettering University. Anna, welcome back. It is so glad to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for welcoming me back, Toni. Perfect. Okay, so my name's Anna. I'm with Kettering University. I have a brief presentation to show you all a little bit of information about Kettering in the Flint area. But if at any time you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, or we'll also have a little bit of time at the end of the presentation to open it up for any questions. So here we go. Let me share my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So we'll keep on going through here. So my name is Anna Devota. I'm an admissions counselor at Kettering, basically meaning I can answer any questions you have about applying to Kettering or college in general, and what the college experience looks like at Kettering. So first of all, Kettering is in Flint, Michigan, and we focus heavily on engineering, computer science, and business management. So on the screen now you can see our 9 programs that we have available. Engineering, computer science, and mostly management. Kettering has a really unique schedule. So our students go to school for 3 months and then do a paid co-op for 3 months, or an internship, similar to an internship for 3 months. So you rotate between school and work every 3 months until you graduate. So if you see on the screen, if you're in A section, you'll be at school between July and September, but then at work between October and December, rotating back and forth. Where if you're in B section, you just basically have the opposite side of the schedule. The schedule works very well for students who are hands-on learners, students who like to be able to try an activity or a task or process with their hands, especially after just learning it in the classroom. And we also attract a lot of students who are very mechanical based, students who may be on the edge between the skilled trades and going to college as well. So some information about Kettering: we have just shy of 2,000 students, but keep in mind half are in A section while the other half are in B section. So we have about 1,000 students on campus at any given time. You can see our faculty to student ratio with 12:1, and our average class size is about 18 students. We do have a couple larger class sizes the first couple terms at Kettering, with that being like the intro to engineering or intro to computer science. But after that first initial class, it does get quite a bit smaller. I was just talking to a student the other day who is in a math class with 6 students. So especially as you get higher in your degree and upper level classes, the class sizes do get a lot smaller, which is nice. You have that one-on-one connection with the professor. And then our classes are taught by faculty, so not by teaching assistants or grad assistants. They're all taught by trained professionals, and they all have experience in the fields as well. So it is nice that when you come back from your co-op term, you have questions about what you did at the company you worked at. Your professor will also have similar experiences and be able to share their insight of what they learned at the companies they worked prior to becoming a professor. So we talked a little bit about the work term or the cooperative education. It's very similar to an internship, with it being 3 months, but students tend to return back to the same company every other 3 months, which helps you build relationships there, build responsibilities, hopefully wages increase, and hopefully retain a full-time offer after graduation. It does take about 4.5 years to graduate from Kettering, but that does involve your work terms as well. After your graduation, you'll have upwards of 2.5 years of paid experience at your co-op, and you'll have made between $10,000 and $15,000 a year, which does total up to about $45,000 to $70,000 earned during your time at Kettering while you're working during your work term. So that money is directly to you, so it doesn't go through the university. It isn't automatically applied to your tuition or housing. It goes directly to you, and what you choose to do with it is up to you. A lot of wages do differ on the companies you work for. what major you currently are studying, what state you're working in, or some companies do offer other benefits like corporate housing or paid company vehicles, 401k options, stock options, benefits. So a lot of wages and salaries do depend on the extra benefits that you're offered as well. And all of these co-ops start your first year at Kettering. So here's a short list of some of the companies we do work with, a lot of them being automotive engineering companies, chemical companies. We do have a couple of medical supply companies, being Stryker and Ortho Michigan. They produce medical supplies and mobility tools like wheelchair lifts into vehicles or replacement joints. So those are some of the things that they work with, but then also GE with the household appliances and UPS being delivery and shipping. But these are only a short list. We do work with over 400 companies, mostly in Michigan, but a lot across the country. So some students have family in a different state they'd like to work with and work in that state and live with their family. We have options in all 50 states, but we do have a lot of options here in Michigan as well. So some of the costs for attending Kettering, our tuition is just about $22,000 a term, and there are 2 terms in a year. So it's about $44,000 for tuition a year. And then you see the amount for housing on campus. We do require housing for our first year students, but after your first year, you're not required to live on campus in the housing on campus, but we do have apartment complexes in the area, rental houses, and also a lot of students choose to live in Greek or fraternity houses in the area as well. So I know that's expensive, so let's talk about some ways that we can chip away at that cost. So we currently have a handful of different options that students choose to help pay for their tuition. We have merit scholarships, which are scholarships based on your GPA and how good of a student you are academically. Those scholarships are reoccurring scholarships. So as soon as you apply to Kettering, you submit your GPA, and if you're accepted, you'll get a letter saying you qualify for X amount of money. In the past, we've given away the range between $7,500 to $17,500 a year based on merit scholarships. And that's reoccurring. So once you apply for it the first year, you don't have to apply for it every returning year. You automatically get that applied to your account every year, which is really nice. My favorite type of scholarships. And then going into Kettering scholarships are private scholarships through Kettering that you'd have access to after you get accepted to Kettering. So we encourage students, if they're planning on attending Kettering or applying to Kettering, to do that early, because once you get accepted, then you'll have access to apply to Kettering scholarships. And a lot of times scholarship deadlines are March 1st. So if you can give yourself a little bit of time to apply to your colleges early, and that way you'll have enough time to apply to the scholarships available by that university. We have corporate partner scholarships, which are scholarships from our company partnerships. So say, for example, a student works for General Motors, and General Motors really appreciates their hard work and efforts and really finds value in their education at Kettering. The company may choose to provide scholarships to the student or provide the full cost of their tuition. It doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen to all students, but it does happen. So that is something available for students at certain companies. Co-op funds is the $10,000 to $15,000 the student is raising themselves during their work terms. Need-based assistance is assistance from filling out the FAFSA form, which just opened October 1st. So hopefully students are starting that process with their families to see if they are available or if any assistance is available to them. And lastly, for our financial aid, we do have work study positions available, which are positions on campus for students to work in offices, dining facilities, recreational facilities on campus to help offset their costs while they are attending school. Some of our requirements you can see on the screen. We do have our application on Common App, which is a general application that students can fill out. And then at the end, it asks you what schools you want it to be sent to. So a major time saver if students are planning on attending planning on applying to more than one school, excuse me. We also do have our Kettering application on our website, just Kettering itself, and they're both free applications. For coursework, most of it is pretty straightforward through the state of Michigan, but we do make sure that you have at least one semester of trig or pre-calculus by the time you attend Kettering. And then we are test optional, meaning we aren't requiring students to submit their SAT or ACT score as part of their application. But it is welcome if students already have taken them. I do recommend submitting the scores. We can use those as supplemental information to help boost a student to the next scholarship level. So for example, the student turns in their application and based on their GPA, they're on the edge of 2 scholarship levels. We could use their ACT or SAT score to help bump them up to the next scholarship rank, but we would never use it to deter a student or to decrease scholarship funds or anything like that. It would just be used as supplemental to hopefully bump them up to the next rank of scholarship. And letters of recommendation are not required, but they are encouraged. If any students have letters of recommendation from teachers or professionals that they work with, coaches, mentors, community leaders, anybody that they have experience with and that can kind of speak on their behalf are always nice to read as part of an application. So some of the fun stuff we do on campus, we have a pretty active campus life with over 40 student groups. And then we also have a picture of our dining or our housing facility at the middle of the screen. We have 1 student per bedroom, and there's 1 unit and there's a sliding pocket door and then another unit. So if you get along really well with your roommate, you can leave your door open, or if you want to have more privacy, leave it closed. Some students choose to have one side as their sleeping area and then another side as their like study gaming area. So you are welcome to move the furniture around. They do come semi-furnished with a bed, a desk, a dresser, a mini fridge, and a microwave, which is nice because some students find employment away from Michigan or away from Flint. So it is nice as they move in and out every 3 months. They don't have to lug all of the larger items onto campus with them. And then we do have fraternity and sororities on campus. Our Greek life is very community organized or community focused. They do a lot of volunteering and academic support throughout the university. A lot of students choose a fraternity or sorority based on what interests they have. So there's some fraternities I know that are all mechanical engineering students or all chemical engineering students. So they work together for their schoolwork, share textbooks, and talk about their classes. So there is an academic and community involvement background. They do a lot of social events too, but not as perceived on different universities. So we do have that available. And you're also welcome to bring a vehicle on campus. We do have that. And we don't charge students to bring a vehicle on campus. It's included, and they can also bring up to a couple of vehicles on campus. We do welcome that. So some of the clubs and sports we have intramural sports on campus. So that's Kettering students competing against other Kettering students. All the sports like softball, basketball, volleyball, tennis, ping pong, soccer available for students to participate in. And we also have student organizations. So these are organizations that students make with their fellow classmates. So this year we had some students who are really interested in music. So they made a music group. Then we also had some students who are really into grilling during the summer months. So they made a grilling group. So once a week they get together and just cook out together. So really it can be based on your academic or social interests. And we have a lot available already, but you're welcome to create your own if there's an interest that we don't already have created on campus. And then a lot of our students do participate in mechanical-based competitions. So we have our Formula One race car on the right-hand side and our Baja go-kart. So they compete against other schools with different tasks. We also have a snowmobile team, an aerospace team, that they compete against other schools with certain tasks or related obstacles. Some of the facilities we have available on campus. We have a pretty active robotics team. And we do have a FIRST Robotics Center on campus. So we do host a lot of Michigan events on campus. We do have a crash test simulation, which is in the center of the screen. Just like you see in the movies, the family of crash test dummies that we do tests on seatbelts and car seats and to test their safety and regulations with those. We do have a mobility test track on campus, which is a large track that we test our autonomous vehicles. So those are vehicles that are controlled by computers, not by humans. So it is nice. And a lot of larger automotive manufacturing companies in the area run out our test track because it is such high quality, and not a lot of areas have them. So it is kind of a nice thing to have on campus. And then we do have a football field. So even though we don't have a football team because of our schedule, we do host graduation and allow local other high schools to use the field for their football team. We also do have our intramural sports take place in the football field as well. So it is nice to have on campus for our recreation. So I think you all might be seniors or close to it, but we do have summer camps available for students who are entering the summer before their senior year of high school. And these summer programs are for women in engineering. We have some for specific genders and races in engineering. We also have some based around robotics, all the way down through elementary school, where we have Lego leagues, which are Lego-based competitions for younger students. And a lot of these competitions and summer camps have scholarships available to attend Kettering, and they range between a couple days to up to 3 weeks. So if they are longer in duration, we do offer housing on campus as well. So lastly, we have some information on the screen here just to learn how to sign up for a tour on campus. We do have campus tours Monday through Friday, and they're led by students, current students. So if you have any student-based questions about classes or the professors or the cafeteria, the co-ops, or anything like that, they'd be able to answer those questions. We also have a couple Saturday open houses coming up this fall. And for those dates, I would refer you to our kettering.edu/visits website, where there is access to sign up for a campus tour throughout the week, or a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning campus tour with your family. But if anybody has any questions, I know I kind of went through that pretty fast, but if anybody has any questions, I'm more than welcome to answer them.
And on that last slide, where
Yep.
you have summer camps,
Yep.
did I read that correctly? Are you saying from grades kindergarten or first grade through 12?
That is correct, from first
Wow.
grade through 12. Yeah, so it's set up for the summer before your college. Somebody's trying to get in. Summer before your senior year of high school. So it's grade 1 through just entering in your 12th grade. So they have summer programs available for students.
Is there any fee involved with that for students?
Yeah, so some of them do, there are deadlines to apply for them, and there are some fees for that. But we do have scholarships available for students who maybe cost might be a factor in deterring students to come to the summer camps. So we do have scholarships available to help offset the funding to attend the summer camps.
And it can be from 1 to 3 days for the coursework sessions?
Yep, it could be a 1 day up to 3 weeks.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
Does it involve staying over in the dormitories?
Yeah, so if for the longer duration camps, we do have housing available in the dining facility or in the housing facility on campus, but then we also offer dining available on campus too. So that's what some of the cost is some of the dining and housing.
Anybody else? You guys have any questions?
No, but thank you. Thank you for the information.
Yeah, of course.
Anna, if you could, if it's available, because I know it's kind of early, if you have it available, could you send me the information on those summer camps for students who want to attend and get their feet wet in STEM, engineering, technology?
Yeah.
Yes,
I will be sure to send that to you.
Good deal. You guys, no more questions, comments? Okay, then we will wrap this session up. Anna, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
It's always my pleasure to have Kettering. I love Kettering. Your program is so awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for joining, and see you all next time.
Thank you.
Bye now.